Hello and happy weekend, my favorite foodies. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Donna Show, the country's only premier food, wine, and celebrity show. Here to get you hungry with me every single weekend. I am surrounded by food right now, so I am really hungry. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later on. But guys, The Donna Show is brought to you by We Sell Restaurants, which is the nation's leading restaurant, bar, and nightclub brokerage firm. So if you need to buy or sell a restaurant or just get information, go ahead and log on to www.wesellrestaurants.com, and all your information is right there. All right, my foodies, I'm really excited about today's show for one reason, because it's about my favorite food in the whole world. I'm very simple. I'm a simple girl. Keep it real. It's all about pizza, right? I mean, let's just be honest. And it's so funny because I heard something recently where somebody says, oh, they called pizza American. Oh, I can't wait to go to America and have the pizza. And I just stared at this person like, really? Has pizza become so household common now that they're actually thinking it's an American dish? Anyway, we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on, because I have got the folks here from Buckhead Pizza Company. We're going to be talking about them in the next segment. And then after that, we've got our sponsors, We Sell Restaurants, and they actually have a special guest in-house today to talk to you guys as well about an event coming up. So we've got a big full show. Hope you're hungry, and if you're not, you will be by the end of this hour. I was going to do this entire Italian piece because I pulled one of my favorite issues ever of Food and Wine, which was the Italian American favorite issue, the edition. And I love all of this food. It's my #1 favorite food, which makes absolutely no sense because I'm Puerto Rican. I'm half Puerto Rican and half white American, and yet the food that I cook the best and that I crave the most is Italian. I don't know where that comes from, but that's just how it works with me. So to have a show like this is really fun. However, as I was just going through stuff and looking around to see what I was going to talk to you guys about today, even though my head was going in the way of Italian, I was reading Reader's Digest. Thank you, Mom. I was reading Reader's Digest, and there's a little section, and it's called the Food Digest, and it's in big, huge print, because apparently my mom can't read well. And anyhow, sorry, Mom, I know you're listening. It's about sushi. There's a couple tips about sushi that I'm going to share with you, because I also happen to love sushi. And then also I got the what do they call it? The top 3 kitchen tips that everybody should know. So listen up right now. First, let's talk about sushi, just for a quick second before we turn the tables and go over into pizza land. Which again, you know, it's so funny because with my job, I get to go to a lot of amazing restaurants and get served by some of the most amazing chefs and eat all this gourmet, incredible food. And seriously, I'm just a simple girl at heart. Pizza, grease, hamburgers. I know that there's chefs out there that just want to turn me off right now. Anyway, getting back to sushi right here, I thought this was really helpful because a lot of people are very intimidated by sushi. They don't want to try it. They're just scared. And what makes me crack up is if you try a food and you don't like it, it's not going to kill you. You can just spit it out. So what is the harm in trying food, right? So here is a couple tips for all of you sushi eaters or people who are considering trying it. First of all, and speaking of my mom, this one is for you. It specifically says right here, and this article was written by none other than Food Network's Iron Chef, Chef Morimoto. If you're in the food world, you should know who this person is. He's a big deal in Foodland. Anyway, he gave us a couple tips. The first one, like I said, is for my mom. You do not have to use chopsticks. He says chopsticks, let me see what, make sure. Actually, sushi originated as a street food, and it is very acceptable to eat it with your fingers. You do not have to have chopsticks. So see, Mom, you can pick it up with your hand, and it's still okay. Just don't use the fork. Also, he says to dip the right end of the sushi into your soy sauce. Basically, he says don't dip your rice in there. Isn't that weird? He says don't dip your rice in the soy sauce. You want to actually dip the fish. So turn it upside down if you have sashimi, and you want to get the soy sauce on the fish, not the rice. I thought that was really interesting because everybody I know dips the rice into it, right? I've got everybody in here nodding. There's a huge number of people here in the studio today. Everybody's nodding in agreement. Yeah. So yeah, don't dip your rice in there. You're supposed to dip the fish. Interesting. Another one was do not ever put wasabi in your soy sauce. And I know everybody that eats sushi puts their wasabi in their soy sauce and stirs around with their little chopstick. But he says do not do that. Chef Morimoto said that to smear your wasabi directly onto your fish or onto your roll, because if you use it in the soy sauce, it dilutes the kick and it dilutes the flavor, and you don't really get to appreciate the actual dish itself. Here was one that didn't really pertain to me. It might pertain to you. It's about the ginger that they serve with the sushi. I don't like it at all. In fact, to me, it tastes like I'm eating perfume, or that I'm eating cologne or something like that. I don't like it, but I know many, many, many people do. So for all of you ginger eaters, he says, do not put your pickled ginger onto your sushi. Instead, eat it by itself between bites, because what that does is it cleanses your palate and helps you to be able to appreciate all the actual flavors of what you're eating. So there you go. No ginger on it. Use it instead. And then the last piece, the last advice that Chef Morimoto gives is do not take several bites of one piece of sushi. Just stick the whole thing in your mouth. That's the way it is intended. That's how it's supposed to be. Do not nibble. He says that the sushi chefs already carefully choose the proportion size that you're supposed to have for one bite. So open your mouth, people, and there you go. So that was my little sushi article. I liked that. I just wanted to share that with you. And then my other, switching gears here, let's all focus. My other is from, again, this is Reader's Digest. This is not from the head of Donna, okay? It says the top 3 kitchen tips that everybody that likes to cook should do in their own kitchens at home. Number 1, and this one was so interesting to me. I have never, ever heard of doing this before. They say that you need to find out in your oven where your hot spots are, how does it cook, because, you know, as much as you like to think about it, ovens aren't exactly always equal in their heat distribution, right? So what they said to do, you know, where are your hot spots? They said to test your oven by you doing this little practice, and this was weird. Take a cookie sheet and line the cookie sheet with pieces of white bread from loaf bread, and then you just put the pan in there, the biggest one you can find that fills your oven, and just put it on. What does it say? Let me make sure I got it correctly here. Map your oven to see where the hot spots are. What you want to do is you want to heat it and put the white bread slices on the cookie sheet, and this is just a suggestion, and then once they have started to brown, take out the cookie sheet and take a picture of it so you can literally see where the hot spots are on the bread. I thought that was so neat and interesting. I had never heard of anything like that before. Now I just want to run home and go test my own oven and find out where the heat distributes. Interesting. So there's number 1. Number 2 was, and this one was interesting, that this would be a top 3 tip. I didn't really agree with it. Okay. It says you do not need to actually mince your onions or your garlic or your herbs, like a lot of people tell you that you need to do. They said that actually became in vogue when French cooking became popular here, and that mincing really doesn't matter. So if you have a recipe that says to mince something or to use it, you can just chop it. It's fine. It's the same. All right, so these are just little shortcuts because, you know, we're the shortcut place. And then last, which I thought was fantastic, was do not throw away your mustard jar when it's close to being empty. Instead, scrape out just the last little bit, keep some mustard in there, and then just add a little oil, add a little vinegar, add whatever spices you like, shake it up, and there you go. You have just created your own vinaigrette for your own salad. Right? A little Dijon mustard vinaigrette. So I thought that was really interesting. In fact, I want to go home and try that myself. And that, my friends, was the first segment of just nice little tips, food tips. We are an information show as well. But I have got to cut to a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to see how much food that I'm not going to eat today, because I'm about to just dive into all this pizza, pasta, everything that is surrounding me. You can smell it from down the hall. We are sitting here with the Buckhead Pizza Company. Do not touch that dial because we have giveaways.